Charles, remember that time you didn't think you could be a vegetarian? Remember that time you didn't think you could stop eating sweets and sugar? You went 3 months then. You didn't think you could do that. Look how you performed. If you could do that, you can do this. I had a testimony. What's up, heroes? All right, so now comes the fun part. You got your goal, you got your vision, you got your dream, you got this big thing you're working on this year, and now you've got a plan. You know exactly what you need to do every day that's going to help you make progress on this big thing you're trying to accomplish. And so now the fun part begins. Now the rubber hits the road. Now you got to actually carry it through. Now you got to stick to it. Now you got to get up every day and actually carry out the plan that you set for yourself. And that's where your discipline comes in. At this point, it's not just enough knowing what you need to do. Now you got to do it, even when you don't feel like doing it. And that's what discipline is. Quite simply, discipline is doing what you have to do, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's not convenient. You've got all the excuses in the world, but you're just gonna saddle up and do it anyway. And that's what discipline is. And you're gonna need this throughout the year now. There are gonna be times where you've had a long day at work and you don't feel like going for your workout. Discipline is doing what you gotta do, even when you don't feel like it. There are gonna be times where family obligations are getting all in the way and you got kids over here and you gotta handle this situation over here and your car's breaking down over here and all the chaos of the world is starting to take over. And you've got every excuse not to do your cold calls. You've got every excuse not to do your workout, not to eat healthy that day. You've got every excuse in the world to just say, you know what, not today, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll get started. I'll start it again tomorrow. I'll do that thing again tomorrow. Discipline is doing what you have to do, even when it's not convenient, even when it doesn't feel good, even when you don't have time to do it. Discipline is a hashtag no excuses mindset. And that you will need, because all the whirlwind and the chaos will hit you at any given moment. And it's gonna take you off course, it's gonna distract you, and it's gonna derail you from the path that you have planned for yourself. And so we are going to go now on this journey of building your discipline. And discipline isn't this thing where some people are born with it, some people aren't, right? There's no magical discipline gene. Anyone can have a high level of discipline. It's a muscle. Just like babies aren't born with muscles, they work on them. They build them over time. With constant effort and training, they build their physical muscles and they become bodybuilders. You can build your discipline muscle just like you can build your physical muscles. And just like a bodybuilder, the way they build their body and they build their muscles is by resistance training. Small acts of resistance against that muscle, and over time, what you're doing is you're tearing down the old muscle, and then when it rebuilds stronger. So that's how our physical muscle is built, by resisting, going against its natural state, resisting against it and overcoming it. And every time it overcomes that resistance, it builds back stronger. Now, our discipline is built the same way. It's built through small acts of resistance. And when you resist temptation, when you resist the excuse, when you resist your vices, when you resist leaning on things that make you comfortable, every time you resist, you're building that discipline. And so a fast is a great way to build your muscle, your discipline muscle. And so that's how you build it, through these small acts of resisting things that you would normally do, resisting things that you want to do, resisting things that feel good and feel comfortable in that moment. Every time you do that small act of resistance, you're stripping down that old layer, and then you're rebuilding your discipline back stronger than ever. And so fast, you may see here a lot of religions go on fasts, and this is one of the big reasons they do it, is that you're building a tolerance and you're building a resistance from things that don't serve you. And that discipline, then you'll be able to apply in other areas of your life. Every area of your life benefits from when you go through a fasting period. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through a fast where you're gonna pick something that, something you normally lean on, something you normally like or that's comfortable. Maybe it doesn't necessarily serve you the best. We're gonna pick a period for the next 21 days where you're going to challenge yourself to resist that. The more you resist those small acts of resistance, you're gonna build your discipline. And here's what's gonna happen. The first thing is gonna happen is you're gonna build a tolerance to that thing. I remember one year, every January, I go through a fast, because January is a great time to fast because you go through and you build your discipline for the year. And so you start the year off with something challenging and a way to challenge yourself. And then that way it starts your year with building up your discipline muscle. This particular January, I chose to become a vegetarian. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I am an extreme carnivore. Meat is just my go-to. I can have just a steak, a big porterhouse steak, and that's it. I don't need anything else. I knew that would be a challenge for me. And I said, you know what? I really want to push myself this year. I'm going to challenge myself, no meat. Actually, I did no meat, no alcohol, no sugar. I like to compound things on top of each other to make it extra tough on myself. But I chose no meat this year. And that year, like at first I was saying, gosh, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. I love meat, but I really wanted to challenge myself. And I was like, my body could use the flush. Like it would do me some good to go a period without meat. The first week was tough as I went through and trying to find all these different alternatives and all these other different methods to make sure I still got protein and felt full. But after that first week, I found that it was easy. And the fast was only supposed to be 21 days. By the time I got to the 21st day, I found that I didn't even have a craving anymore. And I actually went an additional 3 months that year without eating meat because I had built a tolerance. Going a period of time, I started to stop craving. I had officially built a new behavior that I didn't need it anymore. I had built up a tolerance to that thing that I was fasting from. So that's the first benefit that you'll find in a fast, is that you'll build a tolerance to whatever this thing is that you're gonna fast from. But here's the second biggest benefit, is that you build a testimony. A testimony is just a story, something that you can lean on and always revert back to. Remember that time you did that thing? Yeah, you did that, you can do anything else. In that case, with that year when I had become a vegetarian, essentially, I didn't think I could do it. But after I did it, I was like, wow, I wasn't even aware that I was capable. But now if I'm capable of that, what else am I capable of? That following year, my wife and I were in the process of getting pregnant. And we were kind of having some tough times getting pregnant. Of course, the female can't drink while you're in that process. And so she had stopped drinking, but I was still going out and carrying on, and I was in real estate. So it was a lot of networking events and a lot of schmoozing with partners. And so I was going on networking events all the time, and I would have all the wine, it's free wine and free alcohol everywhere. And I'd come home feeling good and having a good time. And there she was, bearing the burden for our family, of keeping herself kept well so that we can, and providing a great environment for us to introduce a child into our life. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a commitment with you. I'm gonna stop drinking as we go on this journey. Now, we weren't even pregnant yet. We were just trying to get pregnant, but in good faith, I said, in good faith to the universe, I'm going to start to create the environment that's welcoming for a child as well. And so I'm gonna stop drinking with you. And at the moment, in the back of my head, I was like, hey, wait a minute, Jarvis, what are you doing? There's no way you can do that. I mean, you're going out to all these events, you're drinking, you're gonna be around so many people that you're drinking all the time. Like, you don't have to stop drinking. Like, you're not the one carrying the baby, she is. You can still drink, Jarvis. Like, no, don't do that. But what happened was, in that moment, I said, well, you know what, Jarvis, remember that time you didn't think you could be a vegetarian? Remember that time you didn't think you could stop eating meat? Remember that time you didn't think you could stop eating sweets and sugar, which is another one of my biggest vices? You went 3 months then. You didn't think you could do that. Look how you performed. If you could do that, you can do this. I had a testimony. I had a story in my memory bank that I could lean on that equipped me and made me stronger to handle any bigger, badder, and more difficult challenge in front of me. At that point in my life, we went 2 years without drinking. It took us 2 years to get pregnant and didn't drink the entire time. All because I had built a discipline. I had built up my tolerance to resist things and vices that don't serve me. And more importantly, I had built a story. I built my testimony that if I could do that, I can do anything. Hell yeah, I can stay in and work late. If I could do that, yeah, I can stay and work late and make my cold calls. If I could do that, yeah, I can make the right decision in this moment to have this salad versus having this brownie. If I could do that, yeah, I can go do my workout even though it's raining outside. If I can do that, of course I can do this. Going on a fast builds your testimony. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're about to go on a 21-day fast. And what's going to happen is you're going to pick something, a vice of yours, that you're going to resist. These small acts of resistance builds up your discipline. And so you're going to pick something that you normally lean into, and you're going to, for the next 21 days, you're going to resist it. And then there's two main categories. There can be a food-related fast, like sweets and desserts. You can fast from alcohol, you can fast from coffee, you can fast from meat, like I did. So you can pick something that you normally lean into, but maybe it doesn't serve you the best from a food perspective, and fast from that for 21 days. Or you can do a behavior fast, fasting from social media, fasting from television, fasting from video games. Anything that you indulge in, again, that you know if you went a period of time without it, you'd probably be better off. Me personally, I'm going to do no television and no social media. Lately, that's been a big vice of mine. I work so hard during the day that by the time I get home, like, I deserve a break. Like, I want to just sit and let my brain turn into mush. And so I sit and I have the remote with Netflix in one hand and I have my phone in the other hand. So I'm watching Netflix while I'm scrolling my phone. It's like this double whammy of non-goodness. So I know I want to break that. And so my fast is after 8 p.m., no television and no social media. And so I'm going to choose that time to pick up a book and read and, work on my personal growth and personal development. And so you're going to choose something that, one, you want it to be challenging. You want it to be something that is going to be a big resistance for you so that you can start to build up a tolerance from that thing. And two, the more challenging it is, the bigger your testimony. Pick something that's going to be a challenge for you, and for the next 21 days, you're going to resist it, and you're going to build up that discipline muscle. And once you go through this period and build up your discipline here, you'll see that discipline will apply in every other area of your life to help you carry through what you have to do, even when you don't feel like it this year. All right, now go off and choose your fast, and I'll see you in the next video.